Okay, so I'm doing my Family Guy thing. You got Stewie. Okay, what am I talking about? Okay, so already my friends are getting on the bandwagon that it's all Illuminati. What is the fake deaths out of Hollywood? Who's faked their deaths? You have to go way back to the 1970s to Jim Morrison of The Doors. Very mysterious circumstances about his death in France. And he wrote a book, No One Here Gets Out Alive. And people just felt like Jim Morrison had faked his death. Any one of these musicians who are known as the 27 Club die at age 27. People look at it, age 27 and you're dead. I can't remember if Kurt Cobain was 27 when he was reported dead from Nirvana. But I'll have to check it out. But Jim Morrison was one of the first ones, and a lot of other celebrities. And now, what is the story? Well, I always say it's Illuminati, and the Illuminati. If you're going to be successful in this world, you've got to join the Illuminati, and then the Illuminati is going to kill you. That's the price of fame in planet Earth. You have to become Illuminati, and Illuminati people, this is the horns. It's like the devil horns. So even Donald Trump has been seen doing these things. Lots of celebrities do this. Or I can't remember if it's this eye or this eye, but it's the one eye, so it's the all-seeing eye of Horus, is an ancient Egyptian. But if you see different pictures with celebrities where they've only got one eye open, I can't remember if it's right or left. Somebody corrected me before because I did it and they said I did it the wrong eye. But even these cameras, sometimes the camera flips you around and this will appear in mirror image. So what else? Illuminati. Well, it's always tied in with, on the back of the US dollar bill, there's a pyramid. And the pyramid is that, if you're at the top of the pyramid, you're global elite. And if you're the bottom of the pyramid, you're just an average Joe. So, you have to climb the pyramid to get to the top. It's tied in with Masonic things. The Masons used to be a really big kind of secret society. Today, I don't know anybody who belongs to the Masons today. It was my grandfather's generation. But, these Illuminati still use the numerology systems of the Masons. And Washington, D.C. Has got all kinds of Masonic buildings. It was planned on everything to do with masonry back in those days. Um, there's all kinds of strange things that have to do with Masons, and I don't want to talk about that too much. I'm still trying to stick around and talk about what other celebrities do I suspect faked their death. You have to watch a movie. There's actually a movie and a sequel, but the movie is known as Eddie and the Cruisers. And after the first movie was made, Eddie, the lead singer of the Cruisers, um, well, let's just call it faked death. And so there was a Hollywood movie, and Hollywood has given us all kinds of information about strange goings on that weren't on the up and up, weren't on the level. Uh, there was, about 1976, 1977, Capricorn 1 was a movie with O.J. Simpson. Yes, that O.J. Simpson. Um, and Elliot Gould about faking space program, faking. I think they were going to go to, maybe it was Mars, but it was not too long after they stopped sending astronauts to go to the moon. And the implication was that they faked the moon landings. The second part about the faked moon landings was the director of 2001 A Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick, who made A Space Odyssey it was released in 1969. And people who examine A Space Odyssey for technical details about the filming of it, and then they look at the filming that was supposed to be done on the moon. People say it looks like they use the same cameras, the same techniques in 2001: A Space Odyssey, the movie, and what was shown on national TV for the Apollo moon landings. And then there's also the Stanley Kubrick movie, The Shining, where there's a scene in The Shining where the little boy uh, is riding, I think it was a big wheel, which is a little tricycle, riding a tricycle down the hallway of the Overlook Hotel, and he's wearing a sweater. And the sweater says, I think it's a picture of a rocket ship. So it was supposed to be another Stanley Kubrick letting people know quietly, surreptitiously, that he was in on the faked moon landings. I saw a video the other day of it was supposed to be Stanley Kubrick admitting he was part of that, but I think it was just a very good faked video. Very good fake, deep fake. Um, Okay, so what else do we have that's suspect with the well? Are the Illuminati really killing people? I don't think so. I think they kind of like this idea that people think that they're, because they really want people to believe in a lot of this stuff. Why? Well, it's Hollywood and they like to be, pulling the wool over our eyes. But I think a lot of these people that are reported dead are not dead. I think they just got sick to death of being a celebrity and known. So they fake their death and then maybe they got to change their hair and move to some small town American place, and people say, you really look like Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. And the guy says, yeah, people have always said that, but no, no, I'm not Chris Cornell. I think they just get sick and tired of being celebrities. It's a hassle to have people constantly, you know. So I think that's what a lot of it's about. They just, and they like the mystery of it all. I made so much money. I get to keep my money, and then I can go back to being a regular Joe. I think that's what it's all about. Someone says, could you be wrong? Um, No, I'm not wrong. These people are alive. I know they're alive. I know they're alive. Why do I know that they're alive? Primarily because no one really dies. Well, this is a bit of disclosure, cosmic disclosure. David Wilcock and Corey Good. I don't think they've covered this one. But in disclosure, I'm going to tell you no one dies. What about the dead bodies that I see at the Undertaker? Yes, but it's because we still believe in Newtonian physics, and that is that this body is a physical thing. So when you drop the body, your immortal spirit continues on. And so, are you going to see these people again? Well, someone wants me to remind you of that Tupac. They make holograms of Tupac and they show him on stage. So, I mean, if you see someone that you know is like dead, is that just a holographic projection of the person, or is it the actual person? Okay, if you have to go back to the original Star Trek, which was the late 1960s, and they showed um, the true nature of what we are in some of those Star Trek episodes. They showed the Organians in one of the episodes, and the Organians showed us that they could take a form of a body, but their true nature was they were non physical beings, pure consciousness. So if you look up the Organians, it's on Netflix, the original Star Trek, and the episode is called the original Star Trek. It's called Errand of Mercy. So make sure you watch that episode, and you'll see the Organians, and you will see why I say no one really dies. Because if people do drop the body, it is um, because we're just like the Organians. But for some reason, something to do with stagecraft here. You remember William Shakespeare said, "All the world's a stage." When you come to play the part of being a solid physical human on planet Earth, one of the deals is that you have to have a death scene. You got to be born as a baby and you got to have a death scene. Except there are some weird things. Some people have bypassed these rules, and some people, it's like in Star Trek again, they beam in. They beam in, and they don't have to be born and they don't have to die. They beam in and out. How do I know? I've seen some of this stuff. I've seen weird things that are inexplicable to normal human information. And I'm going to say that there are people who can wink in and wink out of our reality. And then you can go to the hypnotist, Dolores Cannon's information. She used to hypnotize thousands of people. And she would talk to people when they were hypnotized and get the true goods and what was going on here. And she found out all kinds of bizarre things. You couldn't have made this up. It was so bizarre. And one of the things she said was backdrop people. In other words, people who appear to be human, but they're not really human. That they're just there to, like, they're like background extras in movies. And she said holographic inserts into our reality. So look up Dolores Cannon, and there's videos of her on YouTube you can watch for free, or you could look into her books if you're a bookie person. But that's another source of information. So if people die, your dog dies, and I know it's very traumatic. I've had it happen to myself. Losing people, losing animals. It's a horrible thing, but I want you to. I'm not going to be able to help you know it, but I'm just going to plant the seed in your consciousness that these ones, these loved ones, are not like. It's not like they disappear. Well, they did disappear. It's hard to get the language right, but they still exist. They're still in existence. How sure am I? 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. How else do I know? Well, if you've ever had an out of body experience, maybe you haven't. I have. I've had an out of body experience which proved to me that I'm not my body, even though I seem to inhabit it every day. But it all takes is one out of body experience for you to change your whole outlook on what the hell is going on here on planet Earth. So, did Kobe Bryant really crash in, or was it fake news? I wasn't there, but I think Jeffrey Epstein's death, I think it's fake. I'm how much sure? Well, I mean, I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure they faked it. How much do they fake? I think there's a hell of a lot of things that are faked. A hell of a lot of things. So, I always take things with a grain of salt and just imagine What's the alternative to, the news as we're told? Something a lot more cuckoo pants.